because I noticed that the peppers have just kind of had a little growth explosion. I fertilized them a couple of days ago, and you really see the results pretty quick. So they've got kind of another node of growth, and they'll just keep going like that. Once I harvest this lower pepper, the next ones up top will start coming in, and the plant will then grow another node up, and those branches will get longer. And peppers become kind of like a little tree, and they just keep adding nodes, a stack of leaves and flowers and leaves and flowers and leaves and flowers, and they just kind of stack them up one on top of another. And if you keep on it and you prune the dead stuff and keep the branches, supported and going in the direction that you like, they can also grow in kind of crazy directions. One of my peppers downstairs in the hydroponic garage has like a branch doing a circle. It goes in a little spiral because it was tied up in such a way that it reversed on itself and ended up growing in a little tight circle. So they vine a little bit. They're fragile plants too. And then they stack those nodes on top of each other. You can cut them back and they'll fork like many plants do. And you can actually overwinter peppers and they'll start producing again next year. So you can get at least a couple of good years out of peppers, then you'll start seeing the production go down. The plants can live on, but the production will decrease. So know your plants, because it's very different from another kind of plant. Let's get my coffee here. Got my new dad mug for Father's Day. Some good coffee. If you go to a tomato, you may think, well, it's just another vining plant. And yes and no. Tomatoes put out those big clusters one after another, and they also climb and vine and keep putting out new nodes. And whereas a pepper will branch, kind of like a tree, a tomato will put out suckers and put out new vines wherever it can find a vertical space, boom, to shoot out a new vertical vine. And that's how they just keep reproducing and putting out more and more vines. Wherever they can go vertical more, they just do. And on each of those vines, it's going to start producing fruit all along those nodes. So you can just follow the plant up. There's the biggest ones. There's the next biggest ones. There's the little ones. And there's the flowers of the next ones that are coming in. And then those vines are going to keep coming in. There's some closed flowers. So we've got 5 layers of tomatoes here stacked on top of each other. Just on that one vine, this plant has 2 vines. So the other one has the same thing. There's a bunch there. There's a bunch in there. There's another set of flowers there. Another set of flowers there. So when I'm taking care of those plants, I have to make decisions based on how that growth pattern plays out. So I'm tending to the tomatoes and I go, oh, here's a nice, there's a sucker there and a sucker there. Well, that's a little much. It's not going to really be good for this plant to have that much. I might leave that one because this plant is not as big as some of my others. And I can let this is a secondary vine anyway, so I can let this one go down a little bit and bring in another sucker. Or I could cut those off and have it be one vine. So make decisions based on how you know the plant is gonna grow And then you don't have to worry about some things like, oh, is it okay to have these diseased leaves on the bottom? And this one's starting to get toward the dirt. They're not really diseased, but if they were, is it okay to cut that off? Well, yeah, knowing how a tomato grows, it's okay to take that off. And I'll come back with my clippers and do that. So, it doesn't matter the plant, you know, you want to know how broccoli and zucchini and anything that you're growing is going to come to pass, and the stages of that growth, when to harvest it, when to trim it, and whether or not you need to take it out at the end of the year, because people don't know that some plants that are typically just harvested, like kale, will live a real long time. Or they don't know how easy it is to transplant a sweet potato. There's a lot of details to the different plants. I didn't know that. I didn't know that you could grow a sweet potato from a little twig. I mean, that was really just a little twig. And they're coming in nicely now. So know your plants, I guess, is the theme for today. While the peppers are dripping, I sure do love my my new pepper drippers that I made. I'll be happy to share that in another video, because that's my DIY version, which cost less than $1. Whereas if you try to buy a ring like this, I think they're about at least $8 a piece. Some of them are $15 a piece for little. I don't know if they're 3D printed or how they make those now, but it's just a piece of plastic. And this has built-in drippers, built-in 2-gallon-per-hour emitters from Rainbird, built into that 1/4-inch tube. And then I just use a T-connector and my regular 1/4-inch tube, which is also from Raindrip, Rainbird. I don't know which one it is, or if that's even the same company. But one of those. Happy gardening, folks. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, like it, and post some comments so I know you're there.